Okay, my name is Keith Stanley. I'm the SOHI Main Street manager for North 27th Street, the Main Street Milwaukee program. I'm here with Harvey. Want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yes, hi, Harvey Gutman. I'm doing some consulting with LISC now, and prior to that, I spent 30 years at Pathmark heading up real estate. We did a number of urban locations, about 50 urban locations.
And Beth?
I'm Beth Dufek, program officer at LISC, helping Keith out with the SOHI district.
Thank you, and we're here real quick. We're talking about grocery stores, specifically in urban communities and the SOHI district. Harvey and I got a chance to talk earlier. We're just going to review some notes. Harvey was talking about considerations for what a grocery store is looking for in the urban area.
Yes, the key thing is population. You need to have the people there within a reasonable trading area, a reasonable distance of the store. That's very important. Income's much less important. Population is critical.
What about the drive times?
Drive times, typically you should get about 80% of your business from an 8-minute drive time, and within that drive time you should have about 40 to 50,000 people to be viable.
40 to 50,000 people. What should the neighborhoods consider when they're looking for a grocery store?
My view, neighborhoods are best served by modern full-service grocery stores, which are typically 40,000 square feet and up. Because that store will have a complete selection, will have good pricing, and will be a good neighbor to the stores.
You're talking about organic foods, you're talking about meat, produce, fresh?
Full selection of perishables as well as grocery products, as well as the flexibility to add new lines like natural organics and others.
What about a neighborhood, city considerations or municipal considerations, government? What should they consider when looking for a grocery store?
Well, I think government should
what role do they play?
They have a very important role to play, but they should certainly look at the long term and look at the long-term needs of the community. They should be looking at what the grocer will provide, and they can be helpful in terms of helping to put together pieces of land, any infrastructure issues that arise, as well as to make the approval process quicker and more effective.
What about options as far as the SOHI district? You mentioned about this Grand Slam idea. What is that?
The Grand Slam is finding a location in the heart of the population, in the heart of the area that we've been talking about, of at least 40,000 square feet with adequate parking that can serve this area for decades to come. That's the Grand Slam.
And the consideration, what about space, land? How much land are we looking at?
Well, to do that 40,000 square foot store, you'll need close to 5 acres of land. Unless you were to do rooftop or underground parking, which is very, very expensive.
You mentioned that in your speech you just finished up with. Let's talk about that. There's a few options. You mentioned the underground parking, the rooftop parking, and you mentioned drugstore. Kind of talk about that.
Okay. In order to make better use of land, sometimes rooftop parking, underground parking is used. Rooftop parking adds about $3 million to the cost of a project, which is substantial, unless you have some natural slopes of the land that can mitigate that. Underground parking is even more expensive. That can add about $5 million. The drugstore alternative, as well as the small supermarket alternative, is a way to go if enough land can't be put together to get a supermarket location. And drugstores these days have, in addition to health and beauty care and pharmaceuticals, have pretty good selections of grocery items as well.
In our previous discussion, there was 3 sites we mentioned. You may not remember, but I'm going to bring them up real quick. 27th in Wisconsin was basically the middle of the district. We talked about 28th in Wales, where there was basically the county building right here. And we're going to point out some of this right here. This is 27th Street, and this is Wisconsin. We're going east right here. This is 27th Wisconsin. This is an empty lot right here. What's your feeling on this? It has about 40,000 vehicular traffic and about 14,000 as far as bus ridership on a weekly basis. What's your feeling for this site right here?
Well, I think either of these sites really are comparable because they are sort of in the heart of the population, and they do already have public transportation that's available. Both will be difficult because of the assemblage that will be required to make it happen, and there is a potential impact that will have to be studied on traffic.
We have a site right here that could be possibly an option, which is basically a little bit under an acre. It's right next to the freeway. 94 runs down here. We're going west from this area, east down here, west here, north here. What do you feel about this area, especially with this being a valley here?
Again, not having seen this personally, I would caution everything that my comments are just looking at a map here from high up.
Yeah, the bird's eye view.
But I don't like this location as well because it's at the periphery of the trading area. Typically, although the trading area is 8 minutes, the 0 to 2 minutes is a very critical area because that's your highest market shares. So by locating here, you essentially lose all this business to the south. So that would be a tougher location.
So you mentioned 0, 2, and then the 8 minute. Those are two separate, different markets.
Correct.
Well, the last, as we wrap this up, the last area we looked over here, which is 26 and State Street. It used to be a former grocery store. Right now, it serves another purpose. How do you feel about that site as it relates to this trade area?
I kind of like that location the best because it's less traffic issue. It's more central to the population and what I think would be the potential trading area. Public transportation would have to be perhaps redesigned to affect that location more. And it may be easier to parcel together some pieces of land there rather than further south.
And Beth, what is the role for LISC as far as involving and trying to get a grocery store in the SOHI district or in the near west side?
LISC's role in this project is to help Keith break down some of the barriers that might exist in getting a grocery store and helping to develop the neighborhood around a grocery store in the SOHI district that would definitely support and make the grocery store successful.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thanks, Beth Dufek from LISC. Thanks, Harvey Gutman from Brookside Adisors. Did I get that right?
That's right.
And then I'm Keith Stanley, Main Street Manager. Thank you guys for joining us.